Okay, ready to receive.
Start with Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Steve, I want to ask you about Kevin Durant's rim protection. He's ranked among the best shot blockers in the postseason so far. I'm just curious what you've made of him on that front so far this postseason.
Sorry, we're trying to turn the volume up. Can you say that again, Alex?
Sure. Kevin's ranked among the best rim protectors in the postseason so far. I think he's second in blocks per game behind Rudy Gobert. I'm just curious what you've seen from him on that front.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's very capable. And I, on that front, I kind of, expected him to raise his level during the playoffs. You're coming off a career-threatening injury, 18 months of rehab, a very disjointed season. We didn't necessarily, expect him to give like an A+ on the defensive end every night. We wanted him to find his legs, find his game, find his rhythm, but knowing that that he has the capability of getting there. So he's been as advertised. We knew he could be an excellent defender, and he's been so in the playoffs.
Brian Lewis, New York Post.
I'm curious with the minutes that KD and Harden played, are either or both of them going to be on a minutes limit tonight, or with a chance to close out, you guys kind of just let it ride as normal minutes?
Yeah, I think we let it ride and try to be adaptable. If we can steal some minutes on the bench, perfect. If we can't, we'll have to make some decisions. But there's no perfect answer here, right? We got to try to win the game, and at the same time, if you have the chance to give them some rest, you want to do so, but that chance may or may not come.
Greg Logan, Newsday.
Steve, you guys have a negative point differential in the first quarter and have had slow starts in Milwaukee in particular. Did you learn something in Game 5 as far as how to play from the start of this game, how you want to play, or do you need to see what James has in the tank early?
Well, I do think that we've had slow starts in the series. We had slow starts a lot this year. We also, I think, are adapting to James, him being back in the lineup, but not completely being himself. It takes a minute to feel that out and to find that chemistry again, especially since he's kind of a different player when he's, not 100%. But overall, we want to push to have a great start and come out of the gates playing sharp and smart basketball and being aggressive.
Jared Greenberg, Turner.
Coach, what is the balance that you have between James pushing to be in there and you potentially seeing that maybe he's being negatively affected because he still has some effects of the hamstring injury?
I mean, James isn't going to sit out. So that's just what it is. So, I mean, most important in my eyes is that he can remain healthy, but he's going to play, and it's really difficult to say much more. He's a soldier and a fighter and wants to be out there with his teammates. Is it ideal? No, not at all. But you're scared for him just because I don't want him to get another injury or a long-term injury or a recurrence. But at the same time, you also got to respect the heck out of him that he wants to play and lay it on the line for his teammates, even, when he's not near 100%.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
Steve, in that same vein, you'd mentioned yesterday you just weren't sure if James is going to feel more comfortable because he'd had some experience under his belt in Game 5, or if there was going to be fatigue. I'm just wondering, from yesterday to today, what you've seen, any changes, and kind of maybe what you're anticipating there.
Oh, I haven't spoke to him about that yet, and we haven't done much, So there's not a lot of indicators. We hope that he has a good pregame today and goes through his whole prep and routine and is able to take the court. But like all that stuff is still kind of a moment-to-moment event, and we wish for the best, but we're still uncertain as to what he has, what he can give. But we just know that his heart is 100% committed on playing and helping his teammates.
Thank you.
Ian O'Connor, New York Post.
Steve, after Game 5, Kevin acted almost like it was just another day at the office. You seemed in awe of what he was able to accomplish. I'm curious if you believe that he's even better now than he was at Golden State, and if so, how?
Good question. I don't. It's really hard to say if he's better now or then. I would say it's just remarkable that there's even a conversation about that. At his age, to come back from that injury and to do what he did in that game was remarkable. And then the amazing part about it is that none of us were that surprised. It was just an incredible performance and an important game. But none of us would have said no way going into that game if someone, offered that as a stat line for Kevin. He's just that good, that talented, that capable, and he prepares and works, and, he's deserving of everything he gets on the floor.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach, you kind of said that James is kind of a different player now than he was before, given his injury. I'm wondering, just what does it take for a guy at his level to be able to be out there with a hamstring strain and still be able to make plays? And, he had eight assists, I believe. What does it take for him to still be able to have an impact out there, even though he's clearly limited?
Well, he's an incredibly skilled and intelligent player. So it's, although it's very un-James-like to see him out there in this condition, it's actually remarkable that he can, play while having the brakes on the whole game and trying not to get hurt. I guess that's insane in a way. So it's a testament to, one, how much he cares and how bad he wants to be out there for his team, but it's also a testament to how good he is that he can be out there at all and survive. So it's it'll be interesting to see what he has in the tank tonight and how his hammies progressed and what he's able to do.
Last question, Tom Dowd, BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Steve, aside from the minutes for Kevin and James, the rotation really tightened up on Tuesday. You went small for some pretty significant stretches. How much of those adjustments carry over based on what you saw, or was it really game specific?
I think it's game specific, but all that stuff is in play when you get to the end of the series. So, we'll see. There could be swings either way in our rotations and lineups. But I don't think we go into the game expecting exactly the same minutes or distribution of minutes. Jeff also is having an incredible game, and I think that dictated a lot, among other things. So we just tried to manage the game the best we could, and in the end we got there. But who knows what tonight's game looks like and what we have to do to get through and manage this game.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.